Jane Eyre. The title is synonymous with romantic literature and is universally hailed as Charlotte Bronte's magnum opus. Today's historians applaud it as a milestone in modern storytelling, a prime example of how nature and emotion should be truly written, with spirit and passion. The story chronicles the life of Jane, a woman loosely based on the author herself. She is born into a life of cruelty, a time when a woman's place in society was set in stone. As a schoolgirl, she works her way up through the ranks and becomes an educator. She then begins a search for a place to advance this career, as well as to enrich her ever-hungry life. This brings her to the Hall of Thornfield, home to the peculiar, eccentric, yet strangely alluring Edward Rochester. The heart of the narrative lies in this endeavor. What once was a basic relationship between employee and employer blooms into a romance that Shakespeare himself would truly envy. This remarkable journey is conveyed with a level of epic emotion unmatched by today's literature. And every
Holy crap! Are you still talking? Oh my god, you are still talking. This is ridiculous.
Rotten piece of... Did I, or did I not, tell you to keep a muzzle on this juvenile, uneducated pig? Don't look at me, man. Do I really look like I have any control over this guy? I'll be driven mad if I have to stay in the presence of this...
Okay, shut your mouth, you dirty, stuck-up slob. This was your idea anyway. You wanted the opinion of today's youth. Today's youth being, moi, on this Jane Eyre craze that you and all those old geezers are still going gaga over. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing worth going gaga over is Lady Gaga. Ooh la la.
Yes, and considering what your generation finds appealing, it should come as no surprise that you do not see the beauty of Bronte's work. By the by, Mr. Cuesta, did you happen to come across anyone who was willing to give the book a gander? Well, not exactly. I mean, I tried. I really did, but I just couldn't find anyone who was willing to touch the book. Hey, I want you to read this. Please? Yes, I see. I should have known. Fortunately, I did come across something while I was at the library. Jane Eyre, the movie from the 1940s. Never heard of it? Well, I know I hadn't, but something about this movie in particular kind of surprised me that I didn't hear of it. Why? Orson Welles. Citizen Kane himself was in a Jane Eyre adaptation. I was thrown off guard by that.
Citizen what?
You know, Citizen Kane, the greatest movie of all time. You should give it a watch sometime.
Well, in the movie, does shit blow up?
Well, no, but...
Yeah, not interested.
Anyway, I think it would be appropriate to give a quick little review on the film. Very good. Why don't you go ahead then? Just so you know, this review isn't going to summarize the entire movie. Chances are, if you're watching this, you probably took the time to read the actual novel itself. Or spark-noted it, depending on who you are. I'm here to tell you what worked for me, what I liked, didn't like, what I thought could have been done better, all that good stuff. So, without further ado, let's begin. This version of Jane Eyre was produced by 20th Century Fox in 1944, under the direction of Robert Stevenson. First, I'd like to address this book you see. The film relies on narration of the text by Jane to advance the plot. It's worth noting, however, that none of this print is from the actual book, since the ideas had to be compressed to the size of a paragraph, so viewers could read
My name
it.
is Jane Eyre. I was born in 1820, a harsh time of change in England. Money and position seemed all that mattered. Charity was a cold and disagreeable word. Religion too often wore a mask of bigotry and cruelty. There was no proper place for the poor or the unfortunate. I had no father or mother.
That said, only people who have taken the time to read the book would notice the difference. With all the ways they could have kept the film's pace fit for an hour-and-a-half runtime, I'm glad they went with something like this. Jane is played by actress Joan Fontaine, who by this time had already won an Oscar for Best Actress in Alfred Hitchcock's 1941 thriller, Suspicion. Admittedly, I haven't seen any of her other work, but I'm sure I'll get around to it sooner or later.
I cannot accept your offer, sir.
And why not, pray?
I do not wish to stay at Lowood.
This is unheard of. The ingratitude.
What have I to be grateful for? 10 years of harshness and strain.
Silence! Stiff-necked as ever. I see that I've been sadly deceived in you.
I found her performance in this film to be pretty good. She could have been closer to the Jane I imagined while reading the novel, but that's only because many key scenes that showed her inner psyche were omitted from the film. That aside, she looks and sounds the part, and projects the strong-willed, passionate, yet self-conscious aspects of the character that we all know and love. Or, in some cases, hate, but whatever. Peggy Ann Garner's role as the younger Jane is very well played. For me, this is Jane in her youth.
I thought school would be a place where people would love me. I want people to love me and believe in me and be kind to me. I'd let my arm be broken if it would make anyone love me. Or let a horse kick me. Or be tossed by a bull. Don't say such things. But I would! I would!
Her short time in the film firmly establishes Jane's outlook on life and society, as only a child could do. Some may find her a bit too melodramatic, but hey, that's the 40s for you. Though to my recollection, I heard the same general opinion on the character while reading the book in class. Proof that they really nailed the character in this version, building her up until she reaches adulthood.